It's life, and it's a real situation, and I shed tears all the time. Nobody know, I cry myself to sleep a lot at night. When I lost my dad, it was different. When they closed that casket, it's like it was something that just shut down in me.
For me, that kind of hurted me because I'm just like, I'm still a child.
I apologize for that. Because number one, I thought you was still a virgin. And seeing your child like that, that really just, it messed me up.
Oh, Lord, I'm ashamed.
It really messed me up. It messed me up. And I'm like, what the heck? And I was like...
Welcome to this episode of Culinary Konversations. Y'all, I'm so excited. I have my beautiful mom here with me today, comedian Stacy J. So today with our conversation, we're having the viral Caesar pasta salad with chicken and shrimp. I have some marinated kale, some croutons, some Parmesan cheese, some Caesar dressing, and some nice little seasonings in this viral dish, and you should definitely give it a try. Make sure you check out the recipe link in the show notes, and let's get to the conversation. Let me know what you think.
That's good.
That's that culinary effect. I'm glad you like it.
Seasoned very well.
Thank you. I add my little extra touch to it. So, Mama, you are now 52, almost 53 years old.
Correct.
And just thinking about your childhood self, what would you say that you would be proud of the woman that you have become today?
I've overcome a lot.
Let's talk about it.
And what I'm proud of today, that I am actually walking in liberty, freedom.
Okay.
At one point in my life, I was concerned about what others thought of me and how I was a people pleaser. But now I'm free just to be Stacy and enjoy life and do the things that I enjoy, not worrying about the judgment of others, what they think, because I only have to answer to one person.
And who is that one person?
That one person is the man above, my Heavenly Father. So I'm thankful and proud of the woman I am, walking in my freedom, just being me.
I love that. I love that. How did you get to that place? Because I know things pass from generation to generation. I know I had a moment of time in my life where honestly, I'm just now getting to finding freedom of not being a people pleaser also. So how did you find yourself getting to that freedom of just letting go of what other people think of you and what you do and,
Well, as a so-called Christian comedian, I don't, a classmate of mine, we were at a gathering and I was like, I don't think I'm just going to go back Christian comedian. I just want to be Stacy J. I don't want to put that label as Christian because, today's Christians are very different. So I don't consider myself a Christian. I consider myself a believer. So that's how I got to this place. We was talking to a classmate of mine, Monica, and she was like, Stacey, just be free, just be you. And that stuck with me. And I started dealing with that, and I was like, I'm different. I don't do like the average comedian. I just flow with the audience and what kind of energy I pick up, and I flow in that area. And so as I do it, I'm getting more comfortable just being myself. And it feels good just to be free. So it took a while for me to get here, but it's a good place. It's a good place.
Well, I can't wait. I want to be like you, Mama.
Yeah.
I want to be free of other people, judgment, free of other people, just whatever they got to say, because people don't have opinions. But I want to be in a place where I am doing what is, for one, what brings me peace and happiness, but also what glorifies God. So according to His will, it is designed for whatever His will that He has for me, that I walk in that, but also making sure that I'm free from bondage of other people's thoughts and judgment and concerns and whatever folks got to say.
Yeah, because people are going to talk if you're doing good. People are going to talk if you're doing bad. If you look good, if you look rough, people are going to always have their opinion.
Yeah, folks got something to say.
And we are all different, and we all think different. So it's just best to be yourself.
Yeah.
So ain't nothing like freedom.
I love
And it's
that.
a great place. And I used to be like, oh, what they gonna say about me? And it don't matter no more, because I know I'm a believer. I walk in love, and that's a part of God's purpose and plan for my life, and for all of us generally, to walk in love. And I try to make sure my heart is right towards everybody. And as long as I'm clear and I do right, it don't matter what you say, because I'm free. And I done did what's right.
Yes.
So, hey, so be it.
Period. I love that, Mama. That's some really great advice. I know you mentioned something as far as like, I want to touch on, you mentioned Christians and believers, like Christians today are different. What do you mean by that, as far as Christians today are different?
When I say Christians are different, I'm from the old school, so sold out, and
we having them day-long revivals and
tent revivals, just really being sold out for God. And now it's like people going both ways. And I don't want to be judgmental, but I'm like, you say you're a man or woman of God and you living like this. And so I don't put myself in that category, because everybody doing their own thing. Everybody got their own beliefs, and there's so much out here now. So you got to have that relationship for yourself. And that's why I said I'm a believer. I'm a believer of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's just who I am.
That Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then. Well, I am also a believer as well. And I'm glad that you touched on it a little bit, as far as just how Christianity is looked differently. But I think a lot of people just I don't think, like our pastor recently just mentioned in this past Sunday, where he was just like, the Muslims, like, if you eat pork, you can't be Muslim. Or if, the Buddhists may have their ways. Like, it's certain things that, like, it's a non-negotiable in other religions. But with Christians, oh, it's okay, we babyfy it and things like that. It's nah, you don't need to be doing that. Or, okay, let's, not in a way of just condemning somebody, because only Christ can do that, but in a way where it's just like we allow things and accept things when, no, that's not acceptable. But you have to say that in love, with love. So.
And it's a way you say everything. And it's a way to approach people. So I've been through a lot in life. So I have a lot of compassion for people. I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've worked in so many different fields. I've been to school for everything under the sun.
Yes,
so, I've done a lot and seen a lot. And that's why I try to have compassion for people with addiction. We all got something that we deal with. And as Christians, as believers, the one thing that people forget about, you got to have a balance. And a lot of people don't have that balance.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to live my life. And, my mom, she had stopped everything when she got saved. And I thought that was the way, and I got a friend, which I call a cousin, but she's just my mom's best friend daughter. And she, we was talking about our moms, and her mom is so judgmental, and she don't realize it. I used to be that way. My ex-husband used to tell me, you're so judgmental. And I didn't think that, I really didn't see it. And I had to step back and look at myself, and I was like, you know what, I am being judgmental. And I was like, that's not cool.
I remember that phase of you.
Yeah, we all.
As my mother.
Yeah, we all go through different things. I was just telling my son today. We all go through different things in life. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
But God wants us to live this life abundantly.
Yes.
In health and happiness. And, you know, I'm not a clubber, but if somebody invite me to a birthday party, I'm going to go. And I'm going to dance, and I'm going to have me a cocktail. And you can say whatever you want, because the Bible tells us to be sober-minded.
Yes.
You know, when you overdo it, that's when it becomes a sin. So it's okay to enjoy life. Now, you have to know your limits, because we are all different.
Right.
I have my best friend, she's a recovering addict. So she can't have a drink, and that's okay, you know, and she's okay with that. But I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
So I can go and enjoy myself, because wine, you know, they talked about wine in the Bible. And
That was one of Jesus' first public miracles.
Exactly. You know, and it relaxes you. So sometimes you need that, you know, but to each his own. But my thing, have a balance, enjoy life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it is not just being behind the four walls of a church. You know, ministry is outside of the church. I like to go out and meet people. I'm a people person. I'm a talker,
Yeah.
you know, and you just never know how you can encourage somebody else just by being nice and open and just say something good.
Yeah.
Put a smile on somebody's face, and they can change their whole day.
That's true.
I was talking to a friend of mine just Monday, and I sent him a text, and I was like, you know what, I really appreciate you. And I was like, you put a smile on my face, and it just helped me throughout my whole day.
Yeah.
And it gave me a push and an edge, you know, to just keep going. Because I might be going through right now, but there's hope, and it's not going to always be like this. So,
and that's ministry in itself. Just being encouraging, talking to people, checking in and see how people are doing.
That's right.
So it's so many different ways to minister to someone. Like you mentioned, it is outside of the church.
It is. It is.
I know you've been through a lot, and
Yes.
I know you mentioned grandma, and some of the things that just growing up with her. But I know on December 13th, 2020, we lost granddad, your dad. And I'm personally still grieving, but how have you dealt with the grieving process of losing both of your parents?
It's been very hard, and I still deal with it a lot. I lost my mother, and I went through bereavement counseling for quite a while, and it helped. And, you know, I have my moments with that, but when I lost my dad, it was different.
Yeah.
And when I say it was different, when they closed that casket, it's like it was something that just shut down in me.
It became final.
And I'm like, wow. And so I'm a daddy's girl. I was the only child for 11, 12 years. So it used to be just me and my dad.
Yeah.
They used to call me Lil Will, because, you know, he was Willie C, and they would call him Will and me Lil Will, because I was by his side all the time.
Yeah.
And so that just really took a toll on my life. And it changed everything. And I still, you know, like when I say I'm walking in freedom and liberty, I'm highly educated, and it's so much I could do in corporate America. But I want to go a different route. I really want to be free and be myself. So I keep my regular 8 to 5, 9 to 5, and I'm praying that God just open the doors for my comedy so I can just go forth and be more free and do the things that I want to do to help others.
So you feel like that's how you've been, that's as far as finding that freedom and doing more things for Stacy is what's helping you get to heal, and as far as your grieving
It
process?
It helps me. And the one thing my mom always said, when I leave, I want you to go on. And when I finished nursing school and I was working, and I was having a hard time, and she was like, I knew nursing wasn't for you, but I know every mother want to know their child can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And she said, with me leaving here, I know you're going to be all right, because I'm going to go get her. I'm going to go hard. I like to live well. I like nice things. So she said, I ain't worried about you. And so my dad, he wasn't the one that showed so much affection towards me. He hates to see me hurt. Now that was one thing, and he didn't really know how to say, so he'll be like, well, here goes some money, or go buy this, or, he always showered you with gifts and money and clothes and jewelry or whatever. So that was just how he showed, and he couldn't stand to see me hurt.
Which makes sense. You was the daddy's girl.
Yeah.
So I know you told me that you can count the number of times on one hand, how many times your dad told you he loved you. Yeah. How do you think that affected you? And then how do you think that it affected you loving others? Or how did it affect you as far as parenting your kids?
As far as parenting my kids, I'm just a lovable person. I have a gift. I say it's a gift, because I'd be like, Lord, why you made me like this? Because this person has mistreated me, and I still show love. I go over and above and beyond trying to show love to people. As far as my kids, I never said I love you all the time. Y'all knew I loved you. But I was not the one that just showed that affection like that. I would. That just wasn't me, because my mom wasn't like that and my dad wasn't like that. I am an affectionate person though, but
you are.
I am.
Oh, well, you are.
Yeah. I just don't like like with my grandbaby.
Romantically, you affectionate, but with your kids, you wasn't that affectionate.
Romantically, well.
You like your space too.
Yeah, I do like my space.
So, how are you affectionate again?
I don't like all that touchy. I hug. I do hug y'all from time to time.
Yeah.
And
but then it would be like a quick little hug, like, all right now.
Yeah. But I guess I was just raised that way. And so but I'm much better now. I am much better. I do tell y'all I love y'all more frequently.
You do.
And
I think, when last time you told me you love me, Mama?
I don't know, probably some
months. We gotta do better. You said some months. Some months. So we gotta change that. Well, I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
I mean, David and Taylor, since I'm not in Alabama anymore, they call and, they would be like, love you, Mom. And that was a shocker for him, because he's never been that way. But
yeah,
since I'm gone now, he calls more than anybody.
Since you moved away from Alabama.
Yes. And he'd be like, Ma, I really appreciate you. I love you,
Yeah.
And now Taylor, she's doing much better, So, and of course I say it back. And little Freddie, he said, I love you to everybody.
Yeah. Freddie always been like, love you.
Yeah, little Freddie's very affectionate. So,
I think the 1 and the 3. Because Freddie is the 3, number 3. I'm number 1. David is 2, and Taylor is 4. I feel like 1 and 3, we bumped heads, but our hearts are similar, and I feel like we got a lot of our compassion and empathy from you. And then 2 and 4, they're very similar in a lot of ways, as far as like how they act and their mannerisms and things like that. But I think as far as like now that David and Taylor, especially now that you have moved to a different state, so you're not so close. I know for me, when I left Alabama and moved to Little Rock for my job after graduating college, I know I think that's when we kind of got closer. And that's when I was like calling you all the time and like, you know, or coming home or like missing. Like you start to really, it's something about when you're not in that same comfortable space, when you get out of that comfortability, you start to realize and appreciate the things that are back at home and the people that's there and want to, you know, you miss that. You want to be around that. So I know that made me homesick and missing y'all a lot. And how have you been dealing with your transition moving here? Are you homesick? Do you miss being back in Bama, Birmingham, 205?
I'm not homesick. I don't miss Alabama. When my mom passed, when my dad passed, you know, my kids are grown, and I was going through a lot dealing with my grown children. So I wish I would have been made the move of leaving Alabama. You know, our family is so spaced out now, and there's so much division that's going on right now in the family. Nothing's the same. So I ask people to forgive me if I did something that I didn't know that I did. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I've called, I've texted, and I've always been one to open my house, have gatherings, do the cooking, try to keep the family together.
That's where I get it from my mama.
Yeah, so, you know, I like to have parties. I'm just a family person.
You are.
So with another failed marriage, and I won't say it's just a failed marriage, it's just with Walter's sickness and everything going on, it just changed everything. And you know, and you can't want something for somebody else when they don't want it themselves.
Yes.
So it takes two in a marriage. So I've been by myself the last 6 years. So I wish I would have been made the move. You know, and I had a friend that always said, you need to leave Alabama. And when I got my master's, I had a job opportunity, make big money, but, you know, my boys was like, we don't want to relocate. And I wish I would have left then, but it's okay. That's the past, and I'm here now, and it's different. I'm here with you all, and that's very different because I'm so independent and used to being on my own and having my own space.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get some business in order and looking around and checking out different places because the cost of living is so much higher.
It is.
And I want to get something that, you know, I like nice stuff. So
As you should.
I want to be somewhere nice and where I'm comfortable. So
so overall, you feel like moving away from home has been
it's been a great experience for me. I love it. I don't never want to go back and live in Alabama.
I'm with you on that.
You know, I miss, you know, and people be like, well, I hate you gone, but nobody came to see me, you know, because I lived so far out, you know. So I didn't have nobody coming out to visit, so I'm not missing anything. And I still see my friends from time to time.
Yeah.
We still do our girls trip. I talk to them on the phone. And I'm solo, you know, it's just me. So I'm not missing anything.
Yeah.
And our family, we don't get together, do anything anymore. So it's not a loss. And, you know, and everything worked out with my job being, you know, I can still keep my job.
Yeah. Still work.
So everything is good.
That's good. I know, unfortunately, because we've always been a very family-oriented family. But after losing Granddad, our family was torn apart.
Yes.
And which is very unfortunate that, you know, that his death has torn our family apart. I'm sorry. Me saying losing Granddad just did something to me. Well,
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's life, and it's a real situation. And I shed tears all the time. Nobody know, I cry myself to sleep a lot at night because my mom and my dad would not be pleased with how everything is going. They worked so hard to build, and that was the one thing that my mom always told me to see about my sister.
Yeah.
And I tried to be, as she said, a mother figure instead of a sister, but it's because of the age difference. And, we got together for Thanksgiving and we took family trips. And the way things going now, it's not good. It's not good. And I had to go to counseling for it. And my therapist told me, why do you keep pulling that bandage when you're trying to heal? He was like, you've done your part. And so with the selling of Dad's house and all my personal belongings, my college degrees, high school diplomas, pictures, clothes, shoes, it's like I'm starting all over.
Yeah.
And, so I had to just leave all that behind. And it's okay to shed your tears, because I let them go all the time. And it's just a process. Yeah. Grief is a day-to-day thing.
It is. It's not linear. It literally, grief it comes. And it just comes like ebbs and flows of life. It just comes here and there. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get myself together. So yeah, I miss Granddad. That was my heart. Whew, okay. So with the family being taken apart, because I know, I'm hoping that there's room for forgiveness, and for us to reconcile. But what steps do you think needs to be taken to mend those relationships? Because it's multiple people, so how do you? Because steps have been taken, things have been done. More so, how do you envision our family dynamic if we were to reconcile our differences? And
well, first of all, I've already asked for forgiveness. I tried to be the bigger person in different instances. And I prayed about it, and I released it in God's hands. I miss my nieces dearly, not seeing them grow up, because I'm a family person. I was the auntie. Everybody brought their kids to me. I've always had a house full of kids, and so I keep everybody kids. I love children, and so
we was the cousin house that everybody came over.
Everybody came to our house, right? And so, even my cousin in Savannah, we grew up like sisters.
Yeah.
And everything is rooted around $1. Everything is about a monetary issue. I don't know, whatever God decides to do, because I've done my part, and I'm not doing anything else. I'm not going to keep running up behind people. I'm not going to keep calling. Yeah. I'm not going to text anymore. I'm done. A lot of harsh things were done to me. I forgave people. I've tried, but like I said, you can't do it by yourself. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I try to make the best of what I have.
Yeah.
You all are here, and your brothers and sisters want to come. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. The rest of them, my cousin Carlos, Calandra, Justin, we all still communicate. And he was like, we gonna make this thing work with what we have, whoever want to participate. And you can't do nothing but pray for people. because everybody got something they dealing with until they can get it worked out with themselves, and be the bigger person and come and say, hey, I was wrong in this area, or let's talk about this. Until we can get to that place, I ain't doing nothing else. Yeah. I ain't doing nothing else. Yeah. I done kicked out my pocket. I'm a giver. I get that from my mom and dad. I done paid for trips. I done paid for catering, food. I done did everything on both sides trying to get the family together.
So I think for you just gonna take a sit back and you just gonna show up to whatever.
I'ma show up
to whatever. So the thing I think what we're gonna have to do is, so Thanksgiving, we're talking about as far as like the holidays and things that we're gonna do. Just set something up and just continue. Like you said, whoever shows up, and we're just gonna keep doing something proactively, trying to get the family back together, and hopefully we can eventually reconcile our differences, and we're back to that strong knit family that we once were. If granddad and grandma was still here, what is one thing that you would want to say to them today?
I wouldn't want to say nothing. I just want to hug them.
Just love on them. I love it.
I would just want to hug them. And, me and my dad was silly. Mm-hmm. My dad was kind of slyway messy. When he talk about people and we cut up together, so I miss that. He'd be like, Stacy, such and such. I miss some conversations because we talked every day, And so we would take road trips together, so. And I'm a car person, and I get that from my dad because he loved nice cars, even though the one I'm in now I ain't pleased with. But
that's all right.
That's temporary. But we just did so much. And my mom, the last time me and my mom had a good conversation, she came in my bedroom like 1:30 in the morning, and she grabbed me by the hands and she said, "Let's pray." And she prayed for you and for David. David wasn't even here yet. That's how David got the name David. And
was he in your belly?
No, she just
prayed. Oh, wow.
And she prayed, and when she got through praying, she wanted to sleep with me, and she just wanted to cover me. And so I hold that in my heart with us holding hands and praying, because my mom was a prayer warrior. And I know the favor of God that rests on my life is a lot of those prayers, And I ain't gonna say I'm not a prayer warrior the way I used to be as far as an intercessor. I kind of stepped down and pulled away from a lot of things with the church because it's things are just different. So as long as I have my prayer life with God and pray for my family, I'm okay with that right now. I got to find me a church home here. But yeah, if I could see my parents again, I would just love on them. I would just probably want to go on a trip. My parents love to travel. My mom and dad was very affectionate with each other,
Well, I mean,
they were very affectionate with each other in the later years of my life, because dad wasn't saved, mom was saved, and then when he got saved, and I think that's when the change came in our relationship. Because I was a teenager and he was like, come on to Bible study. I was like, we go to Bible study at the church. We got to have Bible study at home. We got to have prayer at home. We got to go for youth. We got to go for this, that. And my mama was a minister and a head intercessor, so I had to be at everything. And one particular night, the BET Awards was coming on, and I didn't want to go downstairs and participate. And I was like, I ain't participating. You just got saved and you trying to push it on me. He said, what you said? And my dad had never whooped me with a belt before until I was 16 years old. And my dad picked me up and he threw me in the wall. They had to get the sheetrock and everything replaced. He was so mad because I went off with my mouth. And that kind of put a wedge between our relationship, because I ran away. I was walking to Yolanda's house. I called Yolanda and her mom. I think her mom. I don't know if her mom had passed in or not. Whoever said, "Come on, baby," and I was gonna walk to Yolanda and them house. I was like, "I ain't staying here, Mama. This man and hit me. You gonna let him hit me?" Because my dad had never disciplined me before, and that hurt me.
So that was a shock for you.
Yeah, that hurt me so bad.
Yeah.
And so, with him changing his life, and now y'all want to force this on me, I was like, I tried to call the police on them one night because they was having prayer and going on and on and on. I was like, these folks is crazy. So I was very rebellious because it was forced on me, and I didn't want to deal with that as a teenager, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate all of that now, you know, and our relationship got better as I got older, you know, so I'm very grateful.
Makes sense. I did not know, I know you told me about that story about the first time that granddad disciplined you, but you didn't tell me that you ran away. And speaking of running away, well, no, that was a little different. I got kicked out of the house.
Yeah, you got kicked out. Yes, she got kicked out. I beat her down. I don't know if she want to tell y'all what she was doing. But yeah, she got put out.
I got kicked out of the house. I was 17 years old.
That's right.
Still a child though.
That's right.
I was still a child, but my mama kicked me out of the house. And I was like, okay, well, like, you know, the same little, you know, I ain't going back, this and that. I had the same, but it was different. It was a different situation. But I was like, well, shoot, she kicking me out. You took my phone and kicked me out. So I was like, okay. So I went to go. I was working at Arby's at the time, and I had to work that morning. It was over the summer. It had to be because I wasn't in school. So I had to go to work that morning. I went to the store, I think a gas station, and picked up a track phone. This was like a long time ago, but I picked up a track phone because I was like, I had no phone. I worked, the car was packed down with all my stuff. And I remember after my shift, I was just driving around. And I don't know, I don't remember all the details on it, but I just remember that I think I went to Granddad's house first, but he wasn't there. And so I drove by Brenda's house to see, which was my granddad's wife at the time, to see if he was, if his car was there. And I drove by there, and when I drove by there, that's when Tiffany, she literally pulled right in front of me, and she was like, we've been looking for you. We had been worried sick, like you can't leave, we're like, you know, we need you, blah, blah, blah. We don't want you to, you know, leave and things like that. We was worried about you. And so I end up, I was still kicked out. So I ended up staying with my auntie and my granddad in Pleasant Grove, and then I changed schools and all that stuff, but I was at Pleasant Grove anyway. But I wanna, cause we never really we talked about it. Like I remember I wrote that letter to you and I apologized. But it was still, I don't think we still really like talked about that situation. And as a parent, I can understand, you know, why you were so upset and things. And like, I get that part, but I would never kick my child out. A child, Mama. So what made you like? I know you was really mad.
Oh yes, I was very.
But
upset.
You didn't even ask me to come back home.
I didn't, because you know, I guess I'm kind of stuck in my little old ways, you know, because I didn't have men in the house over you all. Walter came to my house, and that's when we was finna get ready to get married. But I never shacked. When I got divorced, I ain't no men. Y'all didn't see no men coming in and out of that house. And I was like, I ain't bringing nobody in here. How she done brought somebody up in my house?
My high school boyfriend.
And I was like, that I didn't like no way. And I was like, oh, I was devastated. And I probably overreacted a little, but I was in shock, and I was just so upset. And I was like, you know my rules. You know I don't play this, and I'm not going to tolerate it. If you can't respect my house, I put you out. I put little Fred out.
You put all us out. Everyone laughing your kids out, but they came back.
Yeah.
They was able to come back. You never asked me to come back, and I don't like. I know, like for me, that kind of hurted me because I'm just like, I'm still a child, and now I really didn't get into a lot of trouble.
No, you didn't.
But I made this big grand mistake, and now it's just like, well, dang, like.
Well, I think
you disowned me in a little bit.
Well, I apologize.
That's how I felt.
I apologize for that. But that stuck in my head for so long, and it still come in my head sometimes. And seeing your child like that, that really just it messed me. It messed me up.
Oh Lord, I'm ashamed.
It really messed me up. Yeah, it messed me up, and I'm like, what the heck? And I was like, I'm around here
busting your tail.
I sacrificed so much for these children, and I was just disappointed. But Victoria you didn't really get me into trouble in school. You was never a bad kid out of all four, you know. Taylor was very sneaky. And David and Freddie, my God.
Those boys.
So having 4 kids, would I advise anybody to have 4 kids close in age, back to back, 4 teenagers in the house? Ooh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And but thank God we made it. Everybody was alive. Everybody graduated high school. With the grace of God.
Thank God I had somewhere to go.
Yeah. But they took me through, and I wasn't gonna put up with it. Because I didn't make a lot of money, and I always tried to keep them in a decent place. And I went without a lot. I didn't have food for lunch. My coworkers used to have to buy me lunch. I would get sick. I couldn't even go to the doctor because I didn't have, because I was trying to make sure y'all always had, you know. And like when your truck broke down in college, I gave you my car, you know, because I wanted you to have dependable transportation. I went and got a high car note when I had and I just made a lot of sacrifices. And when your children do stuff that will hurt you, and I'm like, wow, really? It was like a slap in the face. And so that scarred me. It really scarred me. And so I apologize if I never apologized, and I didn't invite you back in. You came back, but I don't know when and how.
I graduated.
I know you graduated, but when you went to school.
Oh, when I went to college.
Because you was back at home.
I came back the summer before I went to college.
Okay.
Or I know the summer after freshman year, I was home. And that was like
You was at home before you went to college.
I was?
Yeah,
so
because Walter, we loaded the car up and packed the house, you know.
So
and we took you to school.
Before then, maybe.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, maybe the summer before. I know me and Taylor was talking about it, and I'm going to allow her to share her side of it, but I didn't realize me leaving, my disappearance also affected them too. As their big sister. And I'm going to let her share a little bit about that. She's going to come on the show, and we're going to talk about that. But she brought it up, and I was like, wow, I didn't even look at it like that. And I was a child too, so I didn't even could, I guess, have the brain capacity or the emotional capability to even think about, oh, this also affected me. Not being here also affected y'all too, as y'all big sisters. So, but yeah, I'm glad. I thank you for that apology again. I know I apologize, but I'm sorry that scarred you, and you still got that.
Yes.
Please remove it, Lord.
It scarred me. Your bite scarred me. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Yolanda was having a cookout, and she said, what? I was like, whew. Yeah. And I was just disappointed, and I just wasn't expecting that. Because number one, I thought she was still a virgin. And I was like, well, my Lord, Jesus. Yeah, so that kind of messed me up. bad.
Yeah.
So that's something to go through as a parent. Pray you don't have to go through that with your children.
I pray I don't. I pray I don't. But I also remember this kind of sort of just it was a lot, mama, because you got to think about it. I went to 3 different high schools. We was moving a lot. You was going through your divorce. Prior to that, things happened with me and Freddie. And even like just dealing, even me going, you know what happened when I went to those different schools, trying to like, people was putting stuff on my name, trying to defend my name, trying to, folks was messing with me because you the new girl and I'm kind of cute or whatever. So it's just like, it's different. Well, I'm not kind of cute. I'm not going but I'm that girl. But anyway, no, that, just messing with me. So it was just like, it was a lot. I had a lot of anger issues during that time. A lot of built up things, probably dealing with insecurities, daddy issues for one, special with everything that was going on. So I was trying to find love in the wrong people. And so that was just, and then also all the hormones and different things that you go through, transition age of being a teenager. I just know that was a very interesting period of my life, and I just remember all the different things that I was dealing with mentally and emotionally. And
well, I think, and I don't mean to cut you off, me as a parent, the one thing I regret as a parent, my mom, she didn't really talk to me about a lot of things concerning life, dating, boys and stuff like that. She talked to me about safe sex and don't get pregnant because she was a family planning nurse.
Yeah.
And so
the scare tactics.
She was like, how your sex life? Huh? Well, you asked me how my sex life, I ain't gonna talk to you later. And so, and I was like in my early 20s then, but as a teenager, I didn't get those talks. My dad, of course, he didn't say anything. And I only dated my junior year in high school. I had my high school sweetheart. And so I was a virgin for a long time. And so I didn't know a lot. And so, and then when I became in my early 20s, I went to college, graduated, and I worked, and I had you. And we didn't get married because your father was a Muslim and my parents wouldn't allow that. So,
would you have allowed it?
Huh?
Would you have allowed it?
Well, I was going to get married because I didn't want to have a baby out of wedlock. And so my mom was like, we're going to pray him away. You ain't finna marry no Muslim.
Y'all prayed him to another country.
Yeah.
Back to his home country in Guinea, West Africa.
Yeah. So, so no, hey, that's what happened. So I had to learn a lot as far as parenting on my own.
Yeah.
My mom was gone.
What, 27?
27. I had you then. I got pregnant with David, and me and Donnell had been together 8 years, and we were supposed to get married, but I caught him cheating on me. And that's when Freddie came in the picture, so, and then me and Freddie got together, and Rose, the most wonderful mother-in-law. She was a better mother-in-law after we got divorced than when we was married. But she was always good. But Rose never kept the kids. And I did
get a
little
cousin night. That's the only grandma. Grandma Rose is the only grandma I know. But we would go to grandma's house for like cousin nights and stuff.
Twice a year. For the summer and for the Christmas, the spring break or whatever. She probably did that twice a year. But when all the other sister-in-laws had their kids, Rose, she went and helped Tracy and Thad. She came and helped Vernon and Sarah. But when I had, ain't nobody come help me, so I had to learn everything on my own. And that's why I'm so close to my friends, because they really played a major role in helping me, and being there for me, my church family from Mount Canaan. And we just became great sisters, but I had to learn everything on my own. So that's why I always tell y'all, forgive me, because it's a lot I didn't know, you know. And so I didn't sit down and have the conversations, and I didn't have the time because I was always working and grinding, then going to school, trying to finish this degree and that degree. And, you know, and you helped out a lot, you know, because I was working in the daytime and at school at night.
They call
you know,
me they
so
second mom. My siblings call me they second
yeah,
mom.
that was 4 days a week out, you know, and I didn't get home till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
I was cooking dinner for a family of 5.
That's right. I was
It started at age 12.
Yeah, she started early, so I was tired when I got home, and I've always tried to better myself, you know. And when I lost my job at UAB, I was like, okay, well, let me go and get this degree, and I'm gonna do this so it can help out, and you know, I can have better opportunities. So I've always tried to move forward and better myself so that you all can have better.
Yeah.
And that's just been the story of my life. You know, I've always worked hard, but I always got overlooked on certain jobs, and that's a whole nother podcast. Being a black woman, being dark skinned and overweight, you get overlooked. And I was qualified for this position, but they would never select me. So I've always had to work twice as hard, and they would never give me this promotion. They would never give it to me, but they would give it to the little petite girl that don't know nothing. And Walter used to tell me, don't do their job. You know, they coming back to you, but they wouldn't give you the position. So I've had to deal with a lot, especially being a plus size woman that got the education, they got the experience, but you want to overlook me. Then when I got my master's at Wells Fargo, I was the top person every week. I was trying to stay in Birmingham. I was going to North Carolina. And this guy got jealous because he thought I wanted that management position there. Baby, I'm trying to get out of Birmingham. Then he went and lied. So I didn't have to deal with a lot of hurt. That's why I try to show love to people, because I know how it feels to hurt, you know. And for me to do comedy, you know, like Kevin, what is his name? Kevin Hart, Push Through Your Pain. I push laugh through your pain.
Yeah.
I laugh through a lot of my pain, because if I sit still and just think about everything I got going on, I'd be a crazy person.
So is that what comedian Stacy J is that how comedian Stacy J was birthed?
Not really part of it, you know, but I've always been a cut up person. And I guess you can say that, because I got picked on in elementary, I got picked on in high school. One day I just broke down and I ran out the room, and he was like, I did not know this was affecting you like that. And I was like, what you think? You come to school every day and this boy, you know, picking on you. So I've had to deal with a lot. And even now, since I'm in the process of being healthy, trying to exercise and eat right,
And you're doing a great
get my
job.
weight off, I like this freedom and just getting myself together and loving me, you know. And I'm not divorced yet, but I will be getting soon. And I want to date, you know, because I've been by myself for 6 years. And I tell different guys I meet, I'm not desperate. I'm a thick girl right now, but I'm not one that's desperate, and I'm not going to tolerate anything. I know my worth.
Well, I mean, these men still love all this, you call it lusciousness.
Yes,
You know, so they still love the lusciousness. You never had that problem.
No, I've never had a problem with getting a man, but I just want my soulmate, because I look at, I don't know what word I want to use. Well, you could travel with your mate and do different things.
So they're empty nesters now, so they're able to,
Yes. And I'm like, God, I wish I was, you know, with somebody and can do this. And but I know it's coming. So I done took care of everybody, from my mama, my dad, and my husband. I've been everybody caregiver. And when I get sick and down, I'm like, Lord, who gonna take care of me? You know, I always be.
Hello.
But you be busy.
And
you be busy. And you got your life, you got your husband, you got your child. So that's another reason why I had the sleeve done, you know, to help me. It's a great tool so I can get this weight off. so that I can be healthy and I don't have any limitations on certain things that I couldn't do back then. I can do things now, and it's getting better and better. So next year this time, I'll be a whole different person on the camera. So,
well, I'm proud of you, Mama. I'm sure a lot of what you just mentioned was just I guess the motivation for you to lose 100+ pounds and be on this self-improvement journey and seeing you reach your goals. It just makes me really happy. So I'm proud of you, Mom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got to keep up with Ace, Brielle, Rilo,
and Journey.
My 4 grandbabies.
You got 4 beautiful grandchildren.
4 beautiful, lovely grandchildren.
Who's
I don't
get
to see all of them.
Who's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite. I love all of them. Like, I don't have a favorite child. I love everybody is different and unique in their own little way.
Yeah.
So,
you can tell me off camera. It's okay.
No, I don't have a favorite. I don't. I'm here with Ace,
But it was a point that you was with Brielle and Rilo as well. So.
And I didn't have a favorite when I was with them.
I know. I'm just missing with you.
I just loved them, and I miss them so much, especially that little, both of them. Because Rilo, he'll just melt your heart. And Brie coming there every day, and, I miss that. But I don't miss the situation. When your grown children take over your house, I'm ready to be in my own space. So, yeah.
Well, I love it. I think you have shared. I don't know. This talk was it was good for me. I know I didn't realize that. I said grief is linear, and I understand that different things can trigger certain things as far as just thinking about, just saying certain things about granddad, talking about our family reconciling, talking about the mistakes that I've made, and just everything that you have shared and what you have experienced, and you diving more into your self-improvement journey. But I just want to say I'm proud of you, Mama.
Oh, thank you. I'm proud of you too.
Thank you. And I'm just so happy that you are choosing you now, like putting yourself first, because you have been taking care of everybody for so long, from being, your husband's caretaker, granddad's caretaker, your mom's caretaker. So it's time for Stacy to take care of Stacy.
And you're right, because I let myself go in that process. And I just really let myself go. And I was like, I look back at pictures and I tell my friends, why y'all didn't tell me I had got so big? I just wasn't paying attention because I was so caught up. When Walter had his accident, I was at that hospital almost a whole year.
It was a little over a year, I thought. Yeah.
And I was off my job, I went through a lot financially, emotionally, and I still deal with that, because when you pour so much into somebody
and you don't get that back,
and you don't get it back, and it's a hurtful thing, and you want to see this person live, and you progress, and then you take a step back. That took a lot out of me, because I honor my vows, you know, and regardless of what anybody said, can't damn man said they done been with Stacy, because I've been faithful. I was faithful to Walter. And so I've been by myself basically since 2017. Even when my dad passed, he didn't comfort me. He didn't know how. I never got a hug. I would just hold my pillow and cry. Or my friends even noticed at the funeral. They was like, he was just sitting there. He didn't know what to do. And I guess he just really didn't know what to do. He's a great guy. I can't take that, It's just his sickness and his illness just kind of just took over, and he just, to me, gave up. So I've always had to deal with a lot on my own emotionally, even with being a single parent. People don't know I got 3 baby daddies. I got 3 baby daddies. Your daddy, David daddy, and Taylor and Freddie daddy. So, I beat the odds to me, I did, you know.
Yeah,
I
you
never
did.
wanted to be a single parent. So when Freddie stepped up to the plate and came in and took y'all in as his own, you know, it worked until things happened.
Yeah.
And I've always tried to better myself and show you all don't give up in life no matter what come your way. I ain't never been the one to be on food stamps, government assistance, Section 8. I had to work. And like my sister, daddy helped her, but I always moved where it was a bus line. You know, I've always been very independent so that I didn't have to put my kids on anybody else. I've never had that help.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I don't care what people say about me. I'm living my life and I'm just going to enjoy it to the fullest.
As you should.
Because people are leaving here every day. And I don't want to say I just worked and I paid bills. Because we're going to always have that. I'm going to get some kind of enjoyment.
Yeah.
So that's where I am.
I'm so happy that you are doing that. I hate to hear that emotionally you wasn't getting the comfort and things that you need, and you've been feeling alone and doing things emotionally. That hurts me to hear that as your child. But I'm glad that now you're taking the steps as far as like you just took your first solo trip over the summer,
and that was so nice.
You just been living life. And I love that you're walking in this place of just living for you. And I just hope that you continue to do that. And really, because I'm sure going through a divorce again is not easy.
I mean, to me, that part is just signing the paper, because to me, it's, you know, I've been by myself for so long.
Yeah, for a long time.
As far as emotionally, you know.
So that part has already kind of...
That part is, you know, and I had to do everything because he couldn't do it. So, like when Alex would come and get my luggage and bring it, I've been doing everything. I had to do for me and do for him, you know. So when you've been doing everything for so long by yourself, you know, and then when I was in the house by myself. Yeah. You know, so everything I just been solo. So I've healed, you know. It still hurt from time to time, but I'm okay. You know, I'm ready to be free because it's a done deal, you know. Yeah. So it's just paperwork that just needs to take place. And other than that, I'm free.
Right, that's the mantra for Stacy. Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom, laughing through pain, joy, always loving, great heart, so compassionate. So it's just, I'm grateful and proud to say that you're my mother. And I want to ask you, as we're closing, what is one thing that you want to leave at the dinner table today? And what is one thing that you're taking away?
The one thing that I'm going to take away from the table is that it gives my heart great joy to see you fulfilling all your dreams and being a go-getter, and you got it honestly. You know, your daddy was a hustler, a go-getter, and your mom is a go-getter.
Hard working.
Yeah, yes. I can't sit still. I don't know how to sit still. I'm just going to be honest. And I'm not one that have a love for money, but I like to have my money to do the things that I need. So I'm just going to always be looking for ways to have increase to better myself and enjoy and help others. You know, I believe when God bless you, it's just not for you. You should be a blessing to somebody else. Help somebody else along the way. Yeah. So I give when I don't have sometimes. People call me all the time. Why they think I got money like that? I don't know. You know, but I give if I, you know, and I help even when I shouldn't. I still try because I've been in that place and I know how it feels. So, you know, that's one thing I'm taking away. Continue to push and go on because I see how hard you work. You know, I didn't realize there was so much into a podcast. You know, you've got to have this setup, you got to have that, and you still have your life and other things going on, but you have to sacrifice and make that time. So I'm learning from you as well. You know, even when you don't want to. You know, you still got to put a smile on your face, because I'm going through some stuff right now.
Yes.
But you'll never know what people are going through. That's why you should always be kind and just try to stay positive, because life can throw some curveballs at all of us. And what I'm going to leave at this table, to live your life to the fullest, stay positive. But the number one thing, always put God first. I always put God first.
Well, that's your takeaway. That's your takeaway. We're taking that away.
Okay, we're taking that away.
But what we're going to leave it is in the table that we no longer going to pick back up.
Oh, what I'm no longer going to pick back up. Oh, okay. Help your mama. What I'm no longer picking back up.
Definitely not.
Doubt. Fear.
Okay.
That's I'm gonna leave doubt and fear.
Doubt and fear.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that doubt and I'm gonna leave that fear, and I'm gonna keep staying positive.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah, fear is something that that's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that doubt and fear. I'm gonna stay positive and just keep moving forward.
I love it. Well, that's my mama, y'all.
Yeah.
Comedian Stacy J.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me at the dinner table today. I'm so
pleasure.
happy that you came with me. I
There
know
she
you're not
go.
that affectionate, but I'm going to hold your hand, girl.
There she go. There
And
she
I
go.
love you, mommy.
I love you too. I'm proud of you. I love you too. Keep going. And I'm excited to see what this going to bring for you and your family.
Thank you, mama.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of Culinary Conversations. Be sure to check out the recipes linked in the show notes. And until next time, bye.